Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Indian Educational Podcast. So, I am Dr.Veer Shah. I'm a surgical oncologist. I've passed through various competitive exams throughout my life, be it NEET, of taking admission into medical, or taking admission into post graduation, or taking admission into super specialty. So, hello, guys. Today, with us, we have Dr.Hetal Shah, who is a chemistry professor for the past 20 years and has been teaching and preparing students for a lot of competitive exams, right from AIPMT to NEET to JEE to GUJCAT. A lot of exams, the all spectrum of exams have been covered by him. Hello, sir.
Hello.
We welcome you.
Hello, everyone.
Today, we are going to discuss something about the topic that has been in news for a significant amount of time. That is about the controversy surrounding the NEET 2024 exam, which is an exam to allow admissions into the post-medical, the undergraduate medical courses throughout the country. And so to start with, sir, what is NEET? How did NEET actually come into existence? And what is the importance of the exam?
So let me tell you how this went so far. Initially, we used to have state exams, and this was, every state would have its own exams, and 85% seats would be based on domicile, and 15%, we still had AIPMT before, and 15% seats, they were allotted based on AIPMT. We used to call them open seats. And Gujarat used to have this model. The point is, with more than one boards operating in Gujarat, like NCRT board, Gujarat board, etc., there was a lot of discrepancy in like selection. And to have more uniformity, they decided to have something like NEET. And eventually, NEET came into existence.
So basically, what I understand from it is, for our viewers who are not very familiar with the NEET exam, so there was basically an exam which was conducted by each and every state individually, which was giving admission to the students to the medical courses. And there was also a central exam, and there were quotas,
Yes,
which were distributed for the state-based exam and the central-based exam. So now we have a central exam which is common for everyone who wants to take admission into medical,
yes,
pan-India.
pan-India.
So even the quota is central, like it is a common merit list and common quota for anyone who can take admission in any state, or still we have quotas separate for separate states?
We do have quota, and it is like we have still got 85% and 15% in all government colleges here, even here. And for rest of the colleges which are funded by state, there you have 100% domicile. So it is something like we still have the quota operating in government colleges, which are managed by the center. And for state-funded colleges and for state colleges, we have 100% domicile. There we don't have any kind of quota, right? So that's how.
So basically, एग्जाम एक हो गई सेंटर में, पर अभी भी एडमिशन अलग अलग हो रहे हैं. मतलब जो भी स्टेट में जितने डॉक्टर्स की रिक्वायरमेंट है वो फिर भी रहेगी, बट एक इवैल्यूएशन सेंट्रल होगा जिसके बेसिस पे जो भी बच्चे एडमिशन ले रहे हैं उनका एक इवैल्यूएशन और एडमिशन प्रोसेस सेंट्रल रहेगा.
एक कॉमन एक इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस कर दिया, बट अलॉटमेंट ऑफ सीट्स इज स्टिल more or less similar, not exactly similar, but more or less similar. But yes, the papers have been now centralized, and they've been made uniform for all, which is proper. Maybe according to me, it is proper.
It is proper.
Yes.
या फिर मतलब कुछ लोग ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि इसमें इतनी कंट्रोवर्सी हो रही है, इसमें इतना इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, तो वो स्टेट एग्जाम से क्या गलत थी कि अलग अलग स्टेट अलग अलग एग्जाम लेते थे? So what do you think? Was that better, or is a central exam better?
I would still say central exam is better. One thing, जो controversy की बात है, तो we should focus on we could focus on things which would make these exams more standardized. ये exams अच्छी है, अगर execute अच्छी तरह से कर ले, then we have a good system. Why do we want to fall back on the old system? We still have a good system here. It is just that the execution might not be proper. So let us make that execution proper. So focus on how this can be done properly.
Okay, sir. So basically, what I understand, जो मैं समझा, NEET is definitely a better exam. State-wise exams were not that good, but we need to execute the exam. NEET जो है उसको और अच्छी तरीके से execute हो, तो students को और ज़्यादा benefit मिलेगा, right?
You should not abandon a good exam. You should probably focus on why it is going wrong,
Right.
and let us do it correctly. So that is how it has to be.
Fair enough. तो सर इस साल ये नीट को लेके इतनी सारी कंट्रोवर्सीज क्यों है? इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, नीट इज देयर फ्रॉम 2019. 5 साल से इस साल इतनी कंट्रोवर्सीज क्यों आई है बार?
अभी क्यों आई आई कैन नॉट फिगर दैट आउट, बट यस,
क्या है
देयर आर कंट्रोवर्सीज जो अभी थोड़ी बहुत प्रूव हुई है और थोड़ी नहीं हुई है. लेकिन one of the main controversies is malpractice, is paper leak, right? That is one thing. Two, dummy kids, as it is out. और तीसरा जो ग्रेसिंग हुआ है. So people are not satisfied with what, the way grace marks have been allotted to kids. You must be aware of the fact that gracing has been done. It is like at some centers we had less time given to the kids, and then some of them went and filed PIL, and so they figured it out and they gave grace marks. That is one of and the way gracing has been done. The way, first of all, in such offline exams, giving grace marks can create problems, right? That's one thing. And the way gracing has been done is not made very clear, was not made very clear as such. So there was a lot of unrest with the kids who could not score properly, right? In fact, they did score properly, but the ranks were such that they could not stand anywhere in the rankings. And that was a big problem. So these are all different things which hang around, the so-called NEET 2024 scam.
Right, sir. So we'll go point wise. So ये जो paper leak है, so what exactly for the viewers particularly, क्या चीजें बाहर आई है? What things have come up? क्या paper leak हुआ है? कैसा हुआ है? क्या legal action लिया गया है कुछ?
So the first thing, it was like Bihar a case, so it's been FIR has been filed and 4 people got arrested. And today, I think today itself, 9 kids have been summoned. They have been summoned and they've been asked, they've been called, and they would interrogate them. So there is something, and if FIR is filed and I think DSP or DYSP, he probably is a witness to it.
Right.
So this is like, how can you say that there's nothing happening? So that is one thing and then there is this Savai Madhopur thing which is coming out, where some of the students were given by mistake, there were some wrong papers given, and then they wanted to refine it, but it did not happen properly. And some of them gave the exam, some of them could not. They were given a different OMR, which did not match with the papers, kind of. So if you go through the whole thing, you come to know that there was some problem out there as well. And then we have the full Godra thing happening, where the names are out, there's a school involved, it's come to papers.
Right. So as per the research that we have, so basically the allegations or the rumors, whatever you call them, are of the sort के paper leak हो जाता है, बच्चे को अगले दिन बिठा के, then there are examiners who make them solve the entire paper, and next day the kid goes and gives the paper. So that is what is happening, if I'm not wrong. That is what has been alleged or rumored in Godhra and Patna. Not proven yet, but that is what is the case, right, sir?
Yes, true. So as per what has come out, right, the kids were, they were taken to a place where they were made to stay and by heart things, and then they appeared for the exam, and then they did score well. So that was something that happened, and it has been out. I think this has not been proved yet. I'm not sure whether it has been proved, but yes, there are reports coming out like that.
Yeah, and there have definitely been paper leaks in the previous exams in India, a lot of competitive exams. There have been, as you said, impersonation, like some other person is sitting into the exam, giving exam for someone else. All of that has been happening. People have accepted it, as far as I know, and as far as I have talked to a lot of students and teachers, कि ये तो होता ही है. तो why a issue this time? I guess because of the grace marks that came up. किसी ने देख लिया कि 719 का स्कोर भी है, कैसे मैथमेटिकली ये पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. Then the entire thing took up fire, right?
Yes. The one thing, according to me, is like one of the things that was very important and which led to all of this, according to me, is the rankings. The whole uproar came out because a guy who would get a ranking of 7,000 started getting a rank of 30,000.
Okay.
The sudden rise in the ranks, right? See, the point is, when kids don't get, when they are on the verge of not getting the right admission or right college, right? Then there has to be some uproar, because every year this might have happened. We don't know. But the rankings did not change as much as they've changed this time.
Okay.
And this has created a problem. How could this happen? Suddenly in 1 year, your rankings, they change by 4 times or 3 times.
But sir, if we look into that, इवन इफ 1563 बच्चे हैं जिनको ग्रेस मिला है, और अगर पेपर लीक हुआ है जिसके रिपोर्ट्स है 10 लोग बिहार में या फिर 5 लोग गोधरा में, all of that maybe adds up to 2000 ranks. How do you explain the jumping of rank by 20,000, 30,000, 50,000? मास पेपर लीक का कुछ लोग रूमर बोल रहे हैं कि मास में पेपर लीक हुआ है. Nothing has been proven as yet. So how do you explain that? मतलब ये ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ है कि स्टूडेंट्स में डिससैटिस्फैक्शन था कि मेरा रैंक इतना क्यों बढ़ गया और उनको थोड़े पॉइंट्स मिल गए, which explains the malpractices that have been happening, that but it still does not explain the jumping of rank by so much numbers.
Yes, so that is very difficult to understand of what has actually happened. Obviously, there has to be some investigation then. But let me tell you one thing. Till now, the maximum full score of 720 was achieved. The maximum was about 3 kids, right? It always was like, 1, 2, 0, 3 kind of. Either 1 or 2 kids or 3 kids, max 3 or 0. And suddenly this year you find that this 720 is hit by 67 kids. Now imagine what. I can give an estimate that with a score of 700, one used to be somewhere close to having a 300 rank, and today the same is at 2200. So imagine the jump. So obviously, you cannot expect the intellect to change by this much. If you talk about papers, the paper this time was easy, simple, but it was not so simple that the grades can change by 4 times or 3 times.
So what, according to our research that we found, is that the average marks of 2023 NEET exam were somewhere around 279. And this time the average marks are somewhere around 323. So that is an average mark of 24 lakh students. So even if you allege or you say that there is a mass paper leak, or you say grace marks have been given, I don't think they would have been given to like lakhs of students. So somewhere down the line, this proves that the paper was a bit easy than last year. And but even if you say that the paper was a bit easy, and every year if you see the markings, the average markings were somewhere around 250, 260, 270, 280, and this year suddenly they increased to 323. मतलब सडनली ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ है कि देश के सारे बच्चे अचानक से ब्राइट हो गए. मतलब आपने जो लेवल ऑफ पेपर है उसको इतना इजी कर दिया कि एवरेज मार्क्स इतने बढ़ गए, इतना कट ऑफ बढ़ गया. सो इवन इफ वी डोंट लुक एट द रूमर्स ऑफ पेपर स्प्रेड और पेपर लीक्स, इज दिस एक्सेप्टेबल कि एनटीए ने अचानक से पेपर को इतना इजी कर दिया? ये वो कैजुअली बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ पेपर इजी था इस साल. इज दैट एक्सेप्टेबल?
According to me, no, not at all. It is not acceptable. I was always boasting of India having some of the toughest exams. No one in the world can compete the 12th grade exam that we have here, JEE NEET, JEE Advanced. No country in the world would have an exam like that done on such a mass level, and the complexity. No calcies allowed. Imagine the kind of the kind of exams these are. Now suddenly I've started getting that feeling that these exams have become very, very simple, and and that is why we have these rankings going up to an extent. No doubt about it. This year it has been good, more, but I think every year the average marks are increasing, more or less. So I think they should do something about it. Um, let us have, let us maintain the complexity of the paper to an extent that you still have, very good kids going beyond 700. Right. So the grading of kids can be done properly based on the actual intellect that they have.
Yes, sir. So basically, when we see that this 24 lakh students appeared for the exam, and the number of government seats, if you look at, they are close to somewhere 44,000.
Yes.
So out of 24 lakh students, you want to select only 44,000 students. और आपका जो क्वालिफिकेशन क्राइटेरिया है वो 50 परसेंटाइल है. So anyways that is going to match by anything. So why would you not make a more complex and a more difficult paper which would actually test the intellect of students who are the actual bright students, and you would make an easy paper जो कोई 2 महीने पढ़ के भी वो अच्छे से स्कोर कर देगा. जो एक साल जो बच्चा पढ़ा है, एक साल जिसने ड्रॉप लिया है, वो क्या सोचेगा कि कोई डिफिकल्ट पेपर आएगा तो मैं अपना वर्थ प्रूव करूंगा. So that is what I understand of it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The kids have to be properly, the paper should be such that the kids have to be divided properly into the strata that they belong to. Right. One thing. And one more thing, let me make that small correction. It is not even 50 percentile now. It has gone down.
Okay.
It has gone down. So the NEET exam, there is a continuous effort, according to me, for making these exams simpler so that more kids qualify. I am not able to figure out why, but 50 percentile was one of the grades, was the basic grade that you used to have, and now I think it is somewhere close to 35, or it's just passing, or it is less. So from what I understand, no, it is less than 50 percentile now. So it is like, this is not done. Every kid, according to me, should be able to understand MCQs, should be able to solve MCQs, but he should also have that that level of writing those theoretical questions, understanding the theories, and putting down the theories on paper correctly and in technically proper way. So all that is also needed. I don't ask for 70 percentile or 80 percentile, but
नहीं, पर सीट अगर इतनी है आपके पास गवर्नमेंट की, बाकी सब प्राइवेट सीट्स है, और अगर 24 लाख स्टूडेंट्स में से 12 लाख स्टूडेंट्स भी क्वालिफाई हो रहे हैं, and still you are not able to get those students who are getting into probably those private colleges which have very high fees,
yes,
for which you are decreasing the percentile and you are making an easy paper and you are making the topper suffer. I don't think that is justified.
So even I don't agree to that. So that's, they should have not done all this. And you can see that the papers were very good till even 2019, the paper was fairly good. But after that, if you go through the papers, I'm talking about chemistry, I'm not talking about any other subject. For me, I've always found that the papers, they were continuously made simpler. And, eventually it was like, we used to have these AIPMTs 2015, 16, 17. The papers were excellent.
Yeah.
I'm talking about chemistry once again. Papers were excellent. And eventually things started mellowing down. I am not so happy with that, but that's my personal opinion.
Right.
I don't blame anyone for that. But that's my personal opinion.
So let's leave that discussion of why the papers are getting easy, why are they promoting the private colleges and those students for some other day. We'll go ahead with today's discussion. So grace marks. Now काफी सारे बच्चे बोल रहे हैं कि ग्रेस मार्क्स, अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि आप ट्रांसपेरेंट इंस्टीट्यूट है और आपने पहले तो बताया ही नहीं आपने ग्रेस मार्क्स दिए, why were you hiding it? ये तो someone found out that 719 is a score, then you said, oh, we have given it to not one, not 6, not 60, 1563 students. And then you are also saying only 1563 students, which will affect a rank of so many students. So, ये grace marks देना at first, was it ethically or morally right?
Offline exams done on such a big magnitude, I think gracing can create a big problem. One, because you can never justify, um, the gracing properly. So it is going to create dissatisfaction within a lot of within a big mass of kids. One thing. So gracing, according to me, is not the way out to this. Again, once you declare that you've done gracing, let the gracing be more transparent. And on the first day itself, two things should have been done. One, they could have given a full list of kids, right? First of all, they could have published the results, right, open to all, and then they could have marked the names of the kids who got grace. So that could, create some kind of people could probably understand it better and justify what they've done. And there is no proper formula given of how gracing is done. So that is again a big thing. We had a problem, I think, in 2015 where NEET was done. They had this problem with 44 kids around.
So we are coming to that. Actually, we have that in discussion. But coming to grace marks, so basically जो grace marks भी उन्होंने दिए वो इसलिए दिए क्योंकि कुछ पेरेंट्स कोर्ट पहुंच गए कि हमारे बच्चे का टाइम लॉस हुआ है. सो फर्स्ट यू आर नॉट इन द मूड ऑफ गिविंग ग्रेस मार्क्स. पहले आपने बोला कि ऑल एग्जाम्स हैव बीन कंडक्टेड ऑन टाइम. फिर कुछ बच्चे कोर्ट में पहुंच गए कि हाँ हमारे तो ये हुआ है, ये इश्यू हुआ है, तो आपने उतने बच्चों को सिर्फ ग्रेस मार्क्स दे दिया. हो सकता है बाकी को भी हुआ हो, बाकी लोगों को आपने चांस नहीं दिया. कोई गांव में बैठा है जिसको पता ही नहीं है कि मेरा टाइम लॉस हुआ है, उसका मुझे एक्स्ट्रा मार्क्स भी मिल सकता है, उसको आपने अपॉर्चुनिटी ही नहीं दिया. मतलब ऑल दैट वाज रॉन्ग. बट चलो, इवेंचुअली नाउ एज द सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज कैंसल्ड दैट डिसीजन that grace marks were not acceptable, were not correct. So that is left to
thanks to the efforts of a lot of people who did PIL and
definitely,
thanks to them.
Yeah, sir. So uski wajah se we can understand that people are losing hope on the governing body. And the next thing I see, a lot of protests are there on the street. काफी सारे बच्चे बोल रहे हैं कि रीनीट लो या फिर सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन करो. तो ये दो पॉइंट पे हम डिस्कशन करते हैं. तो सर, सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन ये क्या हेल्प कर सकता है इसमें, और इसमें कैसे रिजल्ट हमको, जो क्योंकि हमारा हर ईयरली साइकिल होता है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन से कई बार बहुत लंबे चलते हैं, तो इज इट अ प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन एट प्रेजेंट?
Yes, if you want to send a message to kids that this has been a fair exam and whatever unfair practices have been done, they have been corrected. If you want to do it, if you want to correct everything, I think according to me, CBI is necessary. If you want to do it properly, if you want to satisfy people and make them realize that still the, whatever flaws or whatever problems we had, we've corrected them properly, then CBI investigation is essential. But looking at the timeline, it can create a problem with the admissions and the first year courses that have, that the kids will have to do in med colleges. So it would all get delayed to a large extent. So I think if there is a possibility of doing something which could make things more clear to the kids and satisfy them, right, without doing the CBI, it is a good option. But otherwise, I think you should have a CBI investigation. What one other thing one could do is like to have a separate body to investigate, where former retired judges. This has always been a case with people, right? Former retired judges or some authority not belonging to NTA would take over and investigate the whole thing. Probably yes. So then it'd be okay. But otherwise, CBI has to jump in because the uproar, what we have now, problems that we have now, I think this is not going to tame down so easily.
So right, sir. So basically, you are saying that you are a transparent body. You say that you have not done anything wrong except this. So अगर सीबीआई एक बॉडी है जिसपे मेजोरिटी ऑफ इंडियन पब्लिक ट्रस्ट करती है, इफ दैट इंटरवीन्स एंड इफ दैट प्रूव्स कि नहीं भाई एक्चुअल में पेपर इजी होने की वजह से ही ये मेरिट लिस्ट इतना ऊपर गया है कि कट ऑफ ऊपर गया है, so that would answer majority of questions for all the students and they would again believe in you as a body and in the system and in the exam. So I don't think that should be a problem. In fact they should themselves step up to it और उनको बोलना चाहिए कि हाँ करो इन्वेस्टिगेशन, हमको क्या बांधा है, आप करो.
100% it should be like that. Very positive approach. Otherwise, this will not. You have to satisfy kids. Otherwise, this will not go forward. तो ये करना ही पड़ेगा.
बच्चे सामने ऐसे 5, 10, 15,000 है नहीं. It is 24 lakh students, their parents, and the 24 lakh students or 25 lakh students who are going to give it every year. It's not only about this year.
Yes, I had a kid coming to me, scored somewhere close to 600 odd, 600 to 610. There's this kid coming to me and said, I was very happy initially, very happy. That getting 600 is fine. Then we have a kid who scored about reasonably good 580. He was sure of getting somewhere. Today he is with me and discussing what to do now. And I have many such kids coming to me.
Right, sir. मतलब ये these are 18, 20-year-old kids जिन्होंने एक सपना देखा है that at this marks I will get into this college. They have been dreaming for that. That means everything to them. और अचानक से आपका रैंक वो आ रहा है, आपको वो कॉलेज जो आपने ड्रीम किया वो तो नहीं मिल रही है, शायद मेडिकल ही नहीं मिल रहा है. यू आर नॉट गेटिंग इनटू मेडिकल. योर ड्रीम ऑफ बिकमिंग अ डॉक्टर इटसेल्फ इज शैटर्ड and the reasons they are trying to find reasons for it.
Yes.
And you have given them reasons also by जो माल प्रैक्टिस सामने आ रही है उसके बेस पे. मतलब
you are being questioned and you have to prove yourself now that you're correct. So when you're questioned by so many people around India, pan India, this has happened. So you have to prove yourself correct. And for that, whatever needs to be done, needs to be done.
Exactly. क्योंकि अगर बच्चा है, eventually if he realizes that नहीं, it was me who could have scored better and I would have got a better rank, वो कभी ना कभी वो चीज को एक्सेप्ट करके आगे बढ़ेगा. पर अगर उसको ऐसा ही लगेगा कि नहीं ये सिस्टम में ही कुछ इश्यू था due to which I could not get inside, he will never be able to trust the system again.
Yes.
And he will never be able to maybe do something more enthusiastically even again.
Yes. See, the point is, the next Herculean task that I am facing now is like med kids this year coming to me and asking me, what rank? And I'm not able to answer properly. I said, do your best. NTA is doing its best. Let us hope everything comes out okay. So that's how it is.
Right. Okay, sir. So now we'll come to the next question. अभी काफी सारे बच्चे, a lot of kids are demanding that there should be a re-NEET. Because ये सब issues हुआ है, we don't trust the system, we don't trust the exam that has happened, the integrity of the exam is being questioned. So according to you, how practical it is to conduct a re-NEET in the time frame, और क्या गारंटी है कि फिर से ऐसे कोई issues नहीं होंगे उसमें?
So one thing, फिर से ऐसे issue नहीं होंगे, to ensure that this investigation has to be proper. One thing. Two, when it comes to re-NEET, we did have a re-NEET, right? Way back in 2015, I suppose. But those days we had 6.5 lakh around kids, if I'm not wrong, somewhere close to 6.5. Today we have 24 lakhs. So managing everything for these 24 lakh kids in very short time allotted, still the Supreme Court will have to take its decision. And only if things are proved wrong, only then there can be a possibility of re-NEET, which would happen. The decisions would come by July 15th, somewhere close to that, 8 to 15, the first hearing I think it's on July 8th. And then finally, maybe if everything speeds up, by July 15th, they can give you a proper decision for a re-NEET or not. If at all there is a re-NEET, then that'd be 1 month given. So that'd be like August mid or August end. Then you have a NEET. And then you have one more month coming for the results, and then you have 15-20 days after which everything begins. So I think it can create a problem for the timeline. You're in December then, November, December. By the time everything gets done properly, so re-NEET, I think, is the last option that they should have, according to me. But yes,
It is still an option.
I think yes.
Yes, sir.
I
Because
think yes.
in the past also during the COVID year, a lot of batches went late. So agar the integrity has been questioned, there have been paper leak. If it is not fair to the students who are getting admission, if you are not able to prove yourself right, then still re-NEET can happen.
Yes.
And it can definitely, there can be a delay, but the justice should be served.
Yes. So anything for making people understand that we are going to do this correct.
So ये जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का डिसीजन आया कि 1563 स्टूडेंट्स जिनको ग्रेस मार्क दिया गया था वो कैंसिल हो जाए, तो वो जो स्टूडेंट्स है अभी आइदर दे विल हैव टू अपीयर फॉर अ रीनीट और दे कैन चूज द मार्क्स दैट दे गेट आफ्टर रिडक्शन ऑफ द ग्रेस मार्क्स. सो वो एक केस दो जो था उसका तो डिसीजन आ गया. अभी what other cases are going on? Like I think there is some case going on where they say that the number of students who got grace might be more than 1563.
Yes. That is one of the cases which has been registered, and PIL, I think, is filed. And this is for whether the number given to us, 1563 kids getting grace marks, is this a correct number or not? And how do you, how do you justify that this number is correct? So that is one thing. And I think the second thing is about the paper leak, I suppose, which is still to be.
That case is also going on.
Which is still to be.
So coming to this number, if it is more than 1563, then that would actually explain the high cutoffs that have been given. But now NTA is sure that it has not given more grace marks. मतलब उन्होंने ही दिए हैं तो वो लोग बोल रहे हैं, तो I think we should believe them. But if you want people and students to believe you, जैसे आप हर साल रिलीज करते हैं आप 24 के 24 लाख बच्चों का, यू रिलीज द एंटायर रिजल्ट. तो जैसे ये 719 बीच में से किसी ने पकड़ा, तो अगर ऐसे और भी डिस्क्रिपेंसीज नहीं होंगी मैथमेटिकली, then you can say that नहीं इतने बच्चों को ही दिया है.
समझ में आ जाएगा. और जो 1563 जिनको दिया है उसका लिस्ट आप मार्क कर दो कि ये इनको दिया है because they have this and rest of them are not getting. You can go through the list, check the marks and figure out कि कहाँ पे ग्रेस दिया है कहाँ पे नहीं है. Any odd number you can very easily figure out.
Yes sir. So basically पूरा लिस्ट भी दे दो और वो जो 1563 बच्चों को जिनको ग्रेस दिया उसका भी लिस्ट दे दो.
So maybe this is
that at least gives some clarity to the
some clarity to the whole thing. Yes, that is correct. One thing that they could minimum do is this.
Right, sir. Right. Yeah. Because what a lot of things I have read, news मैंने देखे, मैंने बच्चों से बात की, तो there is a lot of demand कि why NTA is taking the exam? There should be some other body taking the exam. ऐसी भी demands आ रही है. So what do you think about that, sir?
It is too early to talk anything about whether NTA is credible or not. See, NTA has been holding JEE. There's no problem with JEE. Right? So same body, I think it is also it did hold this CUED exam. NTA works on CUED. No problems at all. Right? Here there has been a controversy. There has been a problem. So unless and until things are proved, we cannot demand that we should have a different body. It is just that some refinement, maybe yes, right? With the working pattern, the way these question papers are, given, some refinement in the procedure, yes. But to take away NT and put someone else is too early to, talk about, according to me.
Right. So according to our research also we found that. So basically the exam taking body NTA is correct. Wo body is proper. The issue is not with the exam taking body. The issue is with the conduction and execution of the exam, because the same body is conducting better exams somewhere else. So now we'll go as per what is actually wrong with the conduction and execution of NEET. So starting with first thing, that if you go by JEE, which is also conducted by NTA, there is some involvement of the IITs, at least in the content making. And then NTA plans out all the logistics and conduction of exam throughout the country. So can't that happen with NEET?
So I'm not very sure about what intervention IIT has with JEE main papers. Maybe some influence, definitely yes, because the papers are good. Here, what they could do is like they could bring in, some. They could probably take some help from AIMs. What are the prime bodies, and they could probably monitor the question papers, and they could check out the complexity of the question papers and decide what can be given, what cannot be given, how should a question paper be. And with AI coming in, take help from AI, start getting good questions, right? Based on, you can bifurcate your paper into analytical questions, knowledge based questions, whatever, like memory based, whatever, but you have to do it uniformly. And now formally it might be very difficult formally, but today with AI incorporated, you can probably do this very well.
So yeah, so now as we are talking about solutions, what are the solutions? How can NEET be made a better exam? So first we started with that the content या जो एग्जाम पेपर का जो सेटिंग होता है वो आप कोई एम्स जैसी बॉडी को दो जो पहले भी एग्जाम ले चुकी है, जो अपने लिए अलग एग्जाम लेती थी, and eventually now all the admissions are being taken on NEET. So there should be a larger involvement. Maybe there is some involvement at present also, we don't know. Yeah. But there should be a larger involvement of AIMS, at least in the content and the academic part. And the logistics part and the conduction of exam and execution part can be done by NTA. That is one thing.
That is one thing, yes.
Second thing is, जो बड़ा question है, जो कोई पूछ ही नहीं रहा है, कि why is the exam still on OMR? Now we are a digitalized country. JEE is a computer-based exam. जो NEET की NEET post graduation है, NEET super specialty exams है, सब computer based है. और सबसे बड़ी जो एग्जाम है जिसके बेस पे एडमिशन मिल रहा है मेडिकल में, वो अभी तक OMR में है. Yes. आप उसमें सर्कल्स कर रहे हो. मतलब why isn't that a computer-based exam yet?
Even I'm not able to figure out that. They could have executed online NEET exams, right? After 1 year that they executed JEE exam online. So after doing JEE online exam for 1 year, maybe with that thing going proper, they could have replicated the whole model for NEET. And JEE, you have 28 papers.
Yes.
Imagine. And there's no such problem coming up. And even if a problem comes up, everything is monitored. And you have valid proofs then. So I think, and with India going so strong in economy as well as in AI, I think it should not be a problem. So I would strongly suggest to have online exams. It might be a problem for reaching into villages and doing things properly, or people from villages may have to come back to cities, give their exams and go back, whatever. Try to look into that matter, make it as good as possible, but at least you will not have such controversies coming up so easily, one thing. And two, you may come up with better question papers, more or better content coming in, and I think that's essential now.
क्योंकि when I discussed with a lot of students also, वो भी इश्यूज आ रहे हैं कि OMR के अंदर गलती से 27 पे वो सर्कल कर दिया, 28 पे फिर पूरी 10 क्वेश्चंस की सीक्वेंस गलत हो गई, दिमाग में कुछ चल रहा था और फटाफट टिक करना था, उसमें सर्कल बी की जगह सी कर दिया, सर्कल थोड़ा बाहर चला गया. अभी बच्चा एग्जाम का स्ट्रेस लेगा कि वो सर्कल कहाँ हुआ, क्या नहीं हुआ, कितना किया, क्या गलती किया. मतलब that is even unfair to the students.
More important is whether he is able to answer that question or not.
Exactly.
Now, where he puts the tick or what mistake he does is completely, you should not have that. So not done. I think, the answer is, for me, I would be very happy if they have this online thing happening.
हाँ, और वो अगर बच्चे को बाद में कुछ चेंज करना है क्वेश्चन, कि वो रिव्यू फॉर लेटर करके जो ऑप्शन रहता है कि नहीं अभी ये आंसर लगा और बाद में पता चला नहीं ये है, ये ऑप्शन ही नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो उसने सर्कल कर दिया. मतलब so many logistical issues are there with the OMR exam, and still you are conducting that exams for 24 lakh students.
Very difficult.
In a digitalized world where even you are taking and ordering sabji via UPI, and now you are giving an exam via circling of dots, which is a system 30 years old. Malab,
Yeah.
why is nobody questioning that, sir?
I'm not able to, I really cannot answer this. But one thing I could wish is like, if you can go digital at a vegetable vendor for a very important exam, it's going to build up the future of nation, right? How do you put such exams? Like, why do we have this? You could have made it online, and you could have executed it in a much better way.
Yes. So that was the second point. Third solution is regarding there is a single paper. 24 लाख बच्चे एक ही पेपर. Okay, so we know that there, however hard you try, you are not blaming the NTA or someone else. There can be people who might cheat. There can be malpractices that can happen. So you will have to find solutions for that. And you cannot say कि हम रास्ते पे जाके we will stop each and every one from cheating. वो कौन से भी level पे हो सकता है. So as you said, in JEE there are 28 different sets of paper. So there is some different way of evaluation which is happening. And if I'm not wrong, even the marks which are coming are up to the 7th decimal point.
Perfect. Yes.
So that if you keep more number of papers, one thing is you can take exams on different dates. Second thing is there is lesser chance of paper leak. There is lesser chance of cheating. Third thing is you have a better evaluation.
Yes, the grading comes out much better. You will not have such problems of 67 people doing 720 and now you don't know.
And that is on the first rank.
Yeah.
पीछे के जो numbers है, एक number पे 1800 बच्चे हैं. So for just the information for the viewers, जब एक ही rank पे इतने बच्चे हैं, then how are the ranks distributed, sir?
It's something like biology goes first, then they check the marks for chemistry, and then it is physics. Then I think it's if everything goes similar, then it's probably the age and
incorrect answers in between.
Yeah, incorrect answers and then the age. So there are about 4 or 5 factors like that. But yeah, most of the times the problems can be solved by checking bio, chem, and physics. Most of the times this will be fine. Yeah, then we have these incorrect answers.
Incorrect answers.
The incorrect things, and then we have the final thing, that is the age. And all these criteria are grouped up together and this is the hierarchy, and that is how I think the grading is done. But that's like, I think if you can go up to like 7 digits
in JEE
as what we have in JEE, I think such problems won't arise.
And that would be a better evaluation.
Yes.
For a student, exact number of marks up to a decimal point, and then you get your rank. That also seems more objective.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely correct.
So that is the third solution we talked about. So 3 solutions that we talked about to make NEET a better exam. The first solution being involvement of more number of central bodies like AIIMS in the paper setting part.
One.
Second solution is having more sets of paper. That would solve the issues of paper leak. That would solve the issue of having a better evaluation system. That would solve maybe conduction of the exam and making it more easy, having more number of paper sets. And third thing is a computer-based exam rather than an OMR sheet-based exam. If these 3 things happen, a lot of issues that you're facing this year might themselves get solved.
I could probably say, even if you conduct online exams, the rest of things would be taken care of.
Right. मतलब चलो तीनों हमारे सजेशंस या और लोगों के सजेशंस नहीं है, तो कोई एक चीज भी, मतलब द ऑनलाइन एग्जाम इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आउट ऑफ द ऑल.
एम्स को अच्छी, because prime body I can think about in India is AIIMS. So include team from AIIMS to monitor the content, and the rest is online. You don't have any problem then.
Yeah, sir. So basically, during the year, people don't have time when they're preparing to speak up on such issues. अभी जैसे momentum आ गया है already due to some other issue, I think these points should also be spoken up of. They should be more posted. There should be more postings on Twitter, X, on other social media platforms, and they should at least be forced into look into this matter and reconsider these matters.
Yes.
There should be more voices that should be raised in this context, is what I feel.
Yes. I think it should have been done way before. But yes, now that everything has come up, Yeah, this could also be addressed properly, and this is for the betterment. So it's not about raising questions against the system, but trying to make a system better so that people have more faith in it. And yeah, a kid would not then come up to me and say, "Yeah, ये तो सब गलत हो रहा है, अभी क्या करें, नीट दे ना दे क्या है." So that they don't lose faith in the whole system in exams. So to do that and to have this done fair, we have to do something now.
See, sir, when I come to the fundamentals, just I would like to say to the viewers कि overall जो भी exam pattern and exam styles that have been existing in India, in a democracy like India, that is NEET and JEE, they are by far, the exam style is fair. Matlab, there is nothing that just based on whether you have a certain amount of money or not, you would get into a government institution. Yeah, there are malpractices that are happening, but overall, the concept of a central exam, the concepts of exam like NEET and JEE, where everyone is evaluated irrespective of their social status, financial status, is already a good thing. Right. So here we are only talking about refinements of 20% that could even make it better.
I'm not questioning the whole thing.
Right.
It's about the execution, and it's fine tuning the whole thing. Maybe this is my opinion. So once again, this is a common teacher who's talking, right? A very small common teacher talking like this. But if this idea, according to me, I used to think way back of why this kind of exam where people go 2-3 hours before. You know the amount of stress these kids are placed into. Imagine going to a hall, going to the place where you have to give exams, and you have thousands of kids around you, and you made to sit there for about 3-4 hours. Imagine the kind of panic they get into. I've seen kids panicking. They get freaked out. So this is like, just to avoid all that, make it simple. And you could probably have more than one NEET per year. Why not?
Yes.
Everything is possible. JEE you have two times. You have JEE in Jan end, you have JEE in April, right? If you miss out on one, you should have another chance.
मतलब अगर आप देखने जाओ तो already the opportunity is not fair for everyone. There are students who are in the rural areas, बच्चे हैं जो urban areas में है, कुछ बच्चे हैं जिनके parents ज़्यादा afford कर पाते हैं, they send their students to better coaching institutes, उसके बाद personal tuition भी रखते हैं, बहुत सारा online भी prepare करते हैं, and then there are students who cannot afford anything of this.
Yes.
Who are just reading the textbook. So it is already an unfair system. The preparation is already unfair. उसके ऊपर से a lot of, if these things are going to happen, people are going to lose trust. मतलब you have to do certain changes. We are not saying that the exam is not good. The exam pattern and the style of exam and the idea of exam is already good. But to make it more fair, you will have to take steps. These steps जो rural areas में लाने के वो step, that is a long fetched thing that you cannot do. But whatever you can do, you should do.
Once again, India is 5th largest economy. It's going to become 3rd largest economy. You have money. Invest money into villages. Invest money into a system where each and every kid in India is able to have a fair chance to give the exam. Why not? Because they're going to build up the future. So why not? I would say, invest money into it. It is important. Right?
Definitely, sir.
Yeah.
So even the larger picture needs to be looked at. But yeah, we'll leave that discussion for some other day.
Yeah.
So I would like to end with 3 questions that I have for you. That after the final thing that comes up, we don't know what is going to come up, what is going to happen to the counseling, whether there is going to be a re-NEET or not. But suppose we consider जैसे हर साल होते आया है, there is no re-NEET. यही है और कोई अलग कुछ प्रूव नहीं होता है. इवेंचुअली बच्चों को इसके बेसिस पे एडमिशन मिलता है. व्हाट इज योर मैसेज नाउ टू द स्टूडेंट्स who did not secure a good rank and who will not be able to get into their dream college this time? Should they take a drop, or are there other alternate options? What would you suggest?
It depends on the kid as such. A kid will have to now evaluate himself or herself and think whether he or she is actually for it or not. See, one exam they've already given, they've scored. If they think that they could have done better, I think, and if they don't get a chance to get into a college, maybe go for one more year. How does it matter?
नहीं, कुछ बच्चे हैं सर जिनका 2 साल का ड्रॉप है, 3 साल का ड्रॉप है.
I think it is going to be very, very difficult for them. And I feel very sorry for them. Very sorry. But till, nothing has come up yet. So I could probably not give any fair suggestion of what to do. But yes, don't lose your heart.
This is not the end of life.
Yeah, this is not the end of life. Don't lose your heart.
ऐसा नहीं है जो बच्चों जिनको सबको मिल गया है, they all are going to be the shining stars of tomorrow and you are not going to do anything. Life is very long.
Yes. Have faith. Work hard. Right? Be thoughtful and things would happen. So it is fine. Whatever happens then, and if there is no re-NEET, and suppose a lot of kids who wanted to become doctors could not get into medicine. This happens every year.
Exactly.
This year it is going to be more. But this happens every year.
It is not going to be more, sir. Seats तो उतनी ही है.
Obviously, that'd be kids who would not get into medicine.
मतलब उनको उतने मार्क्स आ गए जो उनको लगा कि उनको मिल जाएगा, पर उनको नहीं मिला. पर हर साल इतने बच्चे 22-23 लाख बच्चे ऐसे होंगे ही जिनको नहीं मिलने वाला है.
True.
And they are going to do something else, and they are doing something else.
Yes, and I'm sure अगर वो अच्छी तरह से करे तो I think that'd be okay. So it is not that doing medicine is everything.
Exactly.
And those of kids who were just on the verge of getting through and did not get or something like that, I would say give one more year to your life, right?
मतलब right now 1 year does not count when you're 58.
True.
उस टाइम पे you will not remember कि उस टाइम पे 1 साल बिगड़ा था.
True. If you tell me, if you ask my age, I would say it's maybe 55, 54,
Exactly.
something like that. So it's fine. Doesn't matter. 1 year doesn't count as such. So it's okay. Stay calm, work again, and everything is going to be okay, right? But for those who missed, I would say just keep on working. Get into a field which is then good for you. Think and select a proper field, and then work hard again. Right?
So my second question would be कि जो teachers है जो अपने बच्चों को prepare कर रहे थे, a lot of them would also उनको बच्चे पूछते होंगे कि sir what is a good cut off, कितना marks मैं लाऊंगा तो मुझे मिल जाएगा, क्योंकि उसके बेस पे उसका भी preparation, उसका भी motivation होगा. Now after the fiasco that happened this year कि जो last time पे 7,000 रैंक था, इस बार 30,000 रैंक है, जो इस बार 30,000 रैंक था लास्ट ईयर, इस बार 80-90,000 1 लाख रैंक है. तो what would you suggest कि वो teachers, how those teachers should guide their students कि what is actually a good mark, कितना मार्क्स लाना, कितना स्कोर लाना actually अच्छा है. Now there is no prediction about that.
It is a tough time answering such questions from kids. Even today I have a problem. So these days I would just tell my kids, do your best, try to score maximum, do your best, and focus on your mistakes rather than focusing on ranks. So when you give a paper, your mistakes, you will have to refine them. So focus on your mistakes, keep on refining them, and the best will come out of you. That's it. That is what we want. And if that best is good enough for the system, you'd be selected. If that best is not good for the system, maybe you'll have to do something else and accept that.
तो आप एक फिक्स वो टारगेट मत करो कि मेरा इतना स्कोर आना चाहिए. आप टारगेट करो जितना ज्यादा है उतना अच्छा है. कीप ऑन इंप्रूविंग.
See, if we start focusing on ranks, it gives you a lot of panic. Don't focus on ranks. Focus on your questions. Focus on your subject. According to me, if you don't know a theory or an MCQ, for me it is more important than going for ranks or thinking about ranks. Think about what you have to do in present. If you don't know something, put in your efforts and time into knowing that rather than thinking about ranks. So even my psychology has changed. Let us focus on our subject. Let us focus on work rather than think about rankings. Who knows what is going to happen next year? Did we know that this year it is going to be like that? No. So who knows what is going to happen next year? So leave that. Just try to become good in whatever you're doing, and it'll be okay. Put in hard work.
Yes.
That's it.
So that brings me to my last question. कि एक बच्चा स्टूडेंट हु इज गोइंग टू अपीयर फॉर नीट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, जिसको पता ही नहीं है क्या होता है, क्योंकि यूजुअली द गाइज इन 11th and 12th दे डोंट नो कि एक्चुअली रिजल्ट के बाद क्या होना है. उनको ऐसा ही सिखाया जाता है कि अभी आप, जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि फोकस ऑन योर स्टडिंग, फोकस ऑन योर सब्जेक्ट, कि अभी पढ़ाई करो, रिजल्ट जो भी आए जैसा भी आए. उनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज है? हाउ शुड दे अप्रोच नीट 2025 दैट इज गोइंग टू हैपन नेक्स्ट ईयर?
द पॉइंट इज अभी वही है कि यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन योर subjects. You have to carry on your work, be more more focused. Don't lose heart anywhere, right? And if you're sensitive, just don't think about anything else and keep on working. So we cannot predict what is going to happen next year, right? But one thing we can always predict is hard work pays. So it is like, be focused and work hard. That is my answer to everything. Abhi agar if you start thinking about things, kahan pe jayenge, kya karenge, kaun sa field, yeah, you have people who would advise you after that. You have people, you can take help from people who would advise you. At my center, I even I may advise them what to do, but that comes on later stage. Let us first work, right? And then whatever happens after that, we'll think about the outcome and where and what to select and everything. The first priority should be hard work, diligence.
So that brings me to what I used to hear and what a lot of people used to tell me back in those days when I was preparing for my exams, कि अगर आपको रेस में रहना है then you need to do hard work. तभी आप रेस में हो. अगर हार्ड वर्क कर ही नहीं रहे हो तो रेस में नहीं हो. उसके बाद इफ यू डू स्मार्ट वर्क यू विल गेट इनटू द टॉप इंस्टीट्यूट्स. अगर आप स्मार्ट वर्क कर रहे हो, आपका टॉप रैंक्स आएंगे, आपको टॉप इंस्टीट्यूट्स में मिलेगा. और अगर उसके बाद आपने डिसिप्लिन भी ला दिया लाइफ में, then you are going to be the top most ranker.
And then if you're doing all this, even if you don't become a doctor, you still would be very successful.
Exactly.
Then you don't see, these are the qualities, right? So if you get them, kuch karne ki zarurat nahi, you still would be successful.
Hard work, smart work, discipline.
Yeah, discipline is important. Very important. These days,
See the discipline I see in you. You wake up every day at 7, you finish your classes by 8, उसके बाद आप doubt solve करके घर जा रहे हो. You're living that life for the past 20 years. That has brought you where you are today.
I'm happy with what I'm doing. Again, I don't rank myself where I stand because the work gives me pleasure. This is Sunday. I'm here on Sunday. I take lectures on Sunday. I'm happily doing it. I don't have holidays. There's no holiday for me, and I'm still okay. People keep on telling me, "Arey, ek holiday rakh lo yaar, week mein ek chahiye." Imagine if I tell them, "Yahan pe aake I get satisfied. I'm happy." Right? Cracking a good numerical or going through a good theory, organic chemistry. If it makes me feel happy, तो आपको जो सीरियल और मूवी देखने से मिलता है, I am happy doing that. So why not? Right? This is a problem with my family. If you ask, this is a problem, but I'm still okay. I'm happy. It's okay. So it is very subjective and it varies from person to person of how you take your life.
So basically, we'll end with that follow your passion.
Yes.
Do smart work, do hard work,
Yes.
work in discipline, and success will follow.
Yeah, definitely. And again, don't count success only in terms of the money that you get. You're getting happiness and contentment is also success, right? Probably. This is like big talks, but yeah, from a chemistry teacher, you don't expect all that. But yeah, this is what I experienced.
Yes. So today was a very informative discussion, and we're sure we'll be coming up with more and more such informative discussions that would help students prepare for their exam, that would help them understand the education system and maybe understand their subjects in the future. Thank you everyone for watching and listening. So if you're watching this somewhere, please subscribe. If you're listening this somewhere, please subscribe there, and do share this with your friends and your colleagues who you think would be interested in such discussions. Thank you so much. We'll catch you another time.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you,
the
sir.
best.
All the best.